What's up, guys? Welcome to the video. Thanks for clicking. Hope you all are doing well during this quarantine thing. Today we're going to be talking about the Vortex Venom Red Dot. We're going to be looking at some of the specs, some of the features, something that happened to me at the range I think you might be interested in, and of course the price. So let's dive up close, take a better look, and I'll tell you what I think. All right, here we are up and close. So we're taking a look at the Vortex Venom Red Dot. Here's the box that it will come in. This is the 3 MOA version. It comes in 3 and 6 MOA. Nice solid construction, but who cares? That's just what brings it home. This is what you get inside the box, what we actually care about. Comes with a rubber cover for the Red Dot, which is nice for storage long term. This thing is nightstand or everyday carry, not necessary, kind of just gets in the way. But I do appreciate that it did come with that. Nice touch. Picatinny rail mount, some extra screws, a hex key Allen thing, and here is the tool that it comes with also. This adjusts the windage elevation and the battery door. Nice touch. I keep this in a little cleaning kit that I have in my range bag, so I always have it with me when I'm out shooting. This is where the Red Dot comes. Also has the instruction manual, which has some of your warranty information, some information on learning how to sight your Red Dot when you first get it, and some other things about the controls and whatnot. It also comes with a cleaning kit for the lens, keep it nice and shiny, which is very cool. I also keep that in my range bag. And then the Red Dot. And here she is. Pretty good looking. I like that lens coating. It's subtle, it's not too much over the top. They do have their logos on this, just in case you forget which Red Dot you have. Doesn't bother me. Some people like a lot more of a minimalistic look when it comes to the logos. I mean, it really doesn't bother me. This thing already kind of screams as it is, so that's not, you know, doing too much negative for me. Battery door is on top, which is awesome. Huge plus in my eyes. You don't have to re-zero this thing every time that you shoot it, or every time that you change the battery, excuse me. Huge thing for me. This is one of the main reasons I actually got this one. A lot of the other options that you have for Red Dots do not have it on the top. It's not accessible without taking it off. So that was cool. Here are the illumination adjustments. This also controls on, off, and switching from auto and manual mode. Yep, you heard me. It's got auto mode, which is pretty cool. If you switch on auto mode, you hold up for about 3 seconds. And then it will automatically adjust the brightness of your dot depending on the ambient light. I prefer manual. I don't want it changing. This thing is on my nightstand, and I want it to be exactly the way I like it every time I pick it up. I don't want to have to wait for it to adjust to wherever I'm at, or a changing environment, especially once I get my light mounted on here. Windage and elevation, they're nice clear markings, easy to see what you're doing. They're not super clicky, not super tactile. If you're in a louder environment, it's going to be a lot harder, almost impossible to hear. So that is something to consider if that is important to you. With the clear markings on here, if we'll focus, that works just fine for me. I already got this thing zeroed in, and I'm not going to be playing with that too much as it is. The battery door, I'm sure you can see what's going on here. It's already a little marred up, and I will explain what happened there, and that was a little upsetting, but this is it. Also in here, if you see, I have a little bit of markings here on the finish already kind of coming off. I've only put about 200 rounds through this thing with this optic, and this optic was brand new, so this has happened from the ejected rounds. The casings came out and I guess affected this thing. Other than that, it's been in a case since I've had it. So I'm not sure why that happened so quickly and easily. I'm not happy about that, but I mean, it still works, it still functions. I still trust this thing as of right now. More testing to come, and then we'll see. There'll be an update later on down the road to see if it's gotten much worse, if that was kind of the worst of it, if it was just a few rogue rounds. Also, if you look in the lens there, you can kind of see a little bit of the glue that they use to hold the lens on. You only see it from this angle. You cannot see it from back here, so it does not hinder the performance. but another thing to think about. But I guess with the price point with this thing, you can't be too picky, and that we'll get into in just a second. This guy is 1.9 inch in length, 1.1 ounce, so it's not super heavy, it's not cumbersome, and it doesn't make a huge difference on your pistol. It is also waterproof, which is awesome. I think it's up to 1 meter. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's up to 1 meter. It does have a seal here for the battery, which is cool. Also with the windage and elevation adjustment, it does adjust in 1 MOA increments, which I believe is 1.05 inches at 100 yards. I was able to get this thing sighted in. It was way off out of the box. I was able to get it sighted in within probably 15-20 minutes. Had a buddy with a scope helping me out to make sure that we were pretty spot on. But yeah, not too bad. I dig this thing. I do have a lot of fun with it. It's nice for quick target acquisition. It's easy to see even with that 3 MOA. A lot of people say the 3 MOA is too small. At 100 yards, I was able to see no problem. I was definitely more accurate with the 3 MOA than the 6 MOA. I would recommend everybody starting out with that 3 MOA for that reason. Smaller dot at every distance makes for more accurate shooting. After all that, I know what you're thinking. What is this going to set me back? And that is where you might be surprised. And it's where I was surprised too. This guy cost me $229 brand new at a local store. As far as red dots go for your pistols, micro red dots, that is insanely affordable, especially for something that comes with a name like Vortex. Vortex has been around for a while. They are proven to be reliable, great quality, well built. It is shock resistant too, the way that they build this thing, so it can take a beating. If you're interested in a torture test, there are plenty on YouTube. I'm not going to be beating this one up. I paid for this with my own money, so it will stay up here as safe as possible, as long as possible. But something that I did run into while shooting this was kind of interesting. About halfway through my 200 rounds that I was putting through this, the dot started to flicker, and immediately I was thinking, you know, I broke it. What did I do to this thing? I'm shooting way too hard. I know this pistol is awesome, but I'm just killing this thing. So it has me a little bit worried. I put a couple more rounds down, and on one, I get hit in the face. I'm thinking I ejected a round. This thing came straight back at me. I pissed it off. My bad. We'll talk about it later. As soon as I look back down at it, after the thing hits me in the face, I realize that something is missing. And that thing that was missing was this battery door. And the battery, I set it down. It takes me about 10 minutes to find this. I'm out in the desert, and I finally find it, and I'm kind of at a loss for words. I'm like, what is going on? This thing's brand new. I checked it before I left, but when I put it on, I tightened these. I made sure that was nice and snug. It does specifically say, get it snug, do not over tighten, so I did not crank it down. So I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not sure why it came off, how it came off. It's made to be on a pistol. It's made to feel the impact of the recoil. So I'm kind of at a loss for that. The only thing I would have expected was for these two screws to back out, because I did not put Loctite yet. I will be adding Loctite on there, but this does not require Loctite. I mean, you need to be able to take that thing on and off. The cut in here for screwing it in and out is not very deep, so I didn't want to crank too hard. But once I found it, I put it back on. I still had, you know, about 100 rounds to put through it, so I did not want to risk that happening again. I did not want to lose that. I did not want to lose the battery. I just bought this thing. I take it to the range for the first time. I want to have some fun. I don't want to be, you know, stranded out there not being able to use it. So that was unusual and kind of upsetting. So when I found it, I put it back on. I grabbed my little tool there, and I got it snug. I backed it out, and I did it again, because the first time it didn't look like it was in the right position. And that time I did kind of put a little bit more pressure on it. But I'll tell you now, I did not gorilla, you know, strength this. I did not tighten it as hard as I could, because, I mean, you can tell how shallow that is. And this still marred up the finish. It still, you know, came off a little bit and did that. And that sucks, man. This thing is brand new. It's $230. I mean, I know it's reasonable pricing for what it is, but come on, like, that does not need to be happening with the tool that you supplied. I can understand if I took my own screwdriver to this and started playing with it and messing with it, but I mean, I shouldn't have had to do that in the first place. And since I did have to do it, I'm not sure why it failed. So that is definitely something to think about. I'm not sure if that's something that could happen on anything else. I mean, this is kind of the price that I'm paying for wanting that exposed battery door. But all in all, it still works. It still functions. I will be reaching out to Vortex to ask them about that and see if they can get me another battery door so I can keep this thing looking good. Before I forget, this does take the CR1632 battery, which is pretty accessible and affordable. The nice thing is, if you keep this on a low or medium brightness setting, this thing should last you, I mean, up 10 months to a year. If it's on super low, it could go even longer than that, depending on how much you play with it. It has an auto shut off setting. After 14 hours, that thing will shut itself off, and it does have a shake awake. So if this thing is sitting on your nightstand for more than 14 hours, it'll shut off to save some battery life. And then you pick it up when you hear a bump in the night, and it will be there and on. Very nice touch. Something that definitely eases your mind a little bit when it comes to will it work. Like I said, I will be giving an update video on this after a few hundred more rounds to see how it holds up, see how that finish does, and give you some more thoughts on it after a little bit more time. But all in all, right now at this point, I am still happy with it. I'm excited to hear what Vortex has to say about that battery cover and get that thing looking nice and shiny again, which will be nice. So let's go back up top. I'll give you some final thoughts and we'll wrap it up. What's up, guys? Thanks again for clicking on the video. That was the up and close of the Vortex Venom 3 MOA Red Dot. I like it. I dig it. It's a good light. If you're on a budget, it's a great way to go. I do trust that thing for right now. Like I said, there will be more testing coming. One thing I do have to mention is if you were able to see that red dot in the up and close, it was a little bit blown up. In person, it is a lot more crisp and small, so something to think about. Also, remember, I'm not a professional. This is my opinion. Everything is subjective. You might think differently of it. If so, let me know in the comments. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. Hit that like and subscribe. There will be more videos like this on their way. And again, if you didn't like it, make sure you hit the dislike, the thumbs down. Hit it twice just to make sure I really get the message there, if you know what I'm talking about. Again, thanks, guys. Thanks for clicking on the video. There's going to be more on its way. I have some stuff coming right now. And I'll see you guys soon. Take care. What is this? What? I don't know. Yeah, thanks for clicking. See you guys soon. Happy quarantine. Hope you guys are staying safe, staying inside. We're going to get through this together. We're going to come out the other side. Just got to stay positive and keep having fun, you know? Yeah. Later.